Misadventure of a French Gentleman Without Pants at the Zanfort Beach is a Dutch film from 1905. A 6-minute slapstick comedy directed by and starring Willy Mullins. It's one of the oldest surviving Dutch fictional films, and the first in the canon of Dutch films presented at the Netherlands Film Festival in 2007. Here's the title in its original Dutch language. Willy Mullins and his brother Albert grew up around their father's theater company. Willy even spent some time working as a human cannonball act. In Paris, they saw the Lumiere's motion picture system in the basement of the Grand Café. They purchased some of their movies and brought them back to the Netherlands. They then formed a production company to tour and exhibit the films and began making their own. Their films were mostly comedies of them performing practical jokes. Yes, they were the jackass of their day. This was likely inspired by the first known fictional narrative film, The Lumiere's The Sprinkler Sprinkled, in which a child pranks a gardener. For The Misadventure of a French Gentleman Without Pants at the Zanfort Beach, the brothers staged a scenario of a man falling asleep in his beach chair and waking to find the tide had come in around him. He removes his pants in order to get to shore without getting them wet. By the way, it helps to understand that in the Netherlands at that time, they had a law against showing bare legs in public. The bare-legged man tries to run away. A comedic chase ensues as more and more people join in the pursuit, ending up in a parade's marching band. Humorous incidents happened behind the scenes as well. Willy Mullins played the pantsless man himself after the actor they'd hired backed out at his wife's insistence. And since, as they show in the movie, it really was illegal to have bare legs in public, they had to deal with actual police at the beach. Their antics and confrontation with police turned into local headlines, which made for free publicity. They played to sold-out theaters. It was a hit. There's an inherent humor to a chase scene. Even action films often find levity in them. This is especially true when the audience is on the side of the person getting chased. The basic structure used here, where a chase escalates past the point of reason with more pursuers joining in along the way, is essentially the same structure used in the Blues Brothers over 70 years later. The imbalance of an individual pursued by a larger number of people, or cars, or dogs, or what have you, enhances the comedy. The greatest example of this is from Buster Keaton's classic, 7 Chances. That film got remade as The Bachelor in 1999, but the scene has clearly influenced many others. Motion pictures have a self-evident advantage in depicting any action, so it's unsurprising that running is so prevalent in early silent movies. A year before the Mullin brothers, American filmmakers made a similar crowd-chasing after a lone man comedy with Biograph's The Lost Child. In that film, a child unwittingly wanders into a doghouse, and a man carrying a basket is mistaken for a kidnapper by the distraught mother. A year before that, in 1903, the UK produced 2 chase films, Desperate Poaching Affray and Daring Daylight Burglary. These inspired both the Great Train Robbery and the Bold Bank Robbery, which I've discussed in previous videos in this series. Including Alice in Wonderland and A Trip to the Moon, all the films I've covered so far have chase scenes. The chase scene is a foundational element in the visual language of narrative filmmaking. Not only does it generate energetic movement, but a direct line of dramatic tension between the pursued and the pursuer. Exaggerate any part of this and it becomes comedic. Around the globe, the earliest recorded movie narratives feature these sequences. The Mullins were natural entertainers who realized the potential for film to entertain.